But right by my side, man, I got one of my brothers from Jacktown. Due for self records in the building. Mr. Albert Batman Donelson. What's happening with you, bro?
What's going on, man?
Man, what the business is, man. This is a long overdue sit down, man. But this is gonna be the first of many, I hope. Cause me and you both got a lot to tell you.
Yeah.
We got a lot to say. We got a lot to discuss. We got a lot of teaching we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But tell the people, man, who is Albert Batman Donelson?
Man, if I could just describe myself in just 2 words, just being real, man.
Mm-hmm.
2 words, being real. That's Albert Donelson.
Being real. And that's all I've ever known from you, man.
Right.
It's real.
Yeah.
Regardless of what anybody have said, regardless of what y'all done heard, we're gonna talk about a whole lot. We're gonna get into some stuff, man, that maybe y'all know, maybe y'all don't know. You understand what I'm saying? But you can hear it right here. If my man gonna talk about it, y'all gonna hear about it. Right. All right, so you was born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi. Okay. Native of Jackson, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. All right. What neighborhood were you born in, man?
I was born in Wood Street is the area. That's where I was born. That's where I came up in. Wood Street, Ferry Street, downtown. My grandma from Davis Street over there. So I frequent them areas. I stayed on Blair Street. I stayed on Cohee Street. I stayed on a lot of streets over there. So it was right, basically, I was born to that area.
Okay. All right. And what elementary did you go to?
I went to Galloway.
Galloway?
Yeah. Played Pee Wee football too.
No, man.
Yeah.
You wasn't no sports man, man. You ain't had no sports man.
I can play some ball too.
Okay.
Right now, if I get out there with some guys my age, I'm gonna play on them.
You gonna handle it?
I'm gonna play on them. I'm gonna
So you played that in elementary?
I played football in elementary. I played football in junior high. I played basketball. All that I was playing at the same time.
What was it like being in that area, raised in that area, man, as Batman?
Well, you know, back then it was all about me going to school and staying out of trouble and all that.
Right.
So I got the name from playing football. You know
Batman?
what I'm saying? Yeah, I got the name from playing. So I would always be. I got
you had that name since you was a child?
I got that name when I was 12, 13 years old.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 11, might say about 11 because I was playing Pee Wee football.
Gotcha.
I was playing for Coach Griffin. We used to play Bowden over there. You remember Bowden over there at Brown?
Yeah.
I got mad with Coach Griffin and quit the team, went over there and joined Bowden one time.
No, bro.
I'm just saying, look, sometimes you gotta give you tough room to operate. You know what I'm saying?
So you always been in that area, in the Wood Street area,
right?
Pleasant, all over there in the mid Jackson area,
right?
As how many sisters and brothers you got?
I got 4 brothers, including me, make 5 and 2 sisters.
Okay.
One of my sisters passed, rest in peace. Tara Dunn, Peaches, everybody love her from over there.
Right.
Real one.
All right. Okay. So out of all y'all, just one deceased?
There's one deceased.
Okay. All right. Well, my condolences, man. And shout out to the full family. I know most of them. Matter of fact, I know all of them. Yeah, I know the whole family.
I know everybody.
All right. And did you and your sisters and brothers fight a lot coming up amongst each other?
Well, not when we came up, you know what I'm saying? More so when we got older, but not when we came up because I got 2 brothers older than me.
Uh-huh.
And
so you the middle boy?
Yeah, I'm the middle boy.
Gotcha.
So my 2 oldest brothers, they stayed with my grandma, so I was the oldest one in the house.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
I used to be the one that's, you fuck with my guy cuss.
Yeah, man, do your thing,
fuck with my motherfucking sister, brother. You want to? You gotta deal with me.
You gotta deal with you.
Motherfucking handful when I come through.
So were you bigger than the average? I was always guy your age.
I always fought lumber trees and giants.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Coming up on the rough side, huh?
On the rough side.
What was you involved in school other than sports? Did you do music?
Well, I was in the band.
Okay.
When I got to junior high.
What was your instrument?
The horn, believe it or not, the trumpet.
Trumpet?
Yeah.
Well, I did trombone. And I think everybody, I don't know. Either that or percussion.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to beat the motherfucking drums, but they had already had stars over there. That motherfucker.
Who was the man with the drum back in the day?
I can't remember him right now. Cause that was junior high then.
Tritones and all of that.
that guy can beat.
Where he was, he can beat.
He can beat. But I wanted to play the drums, and they moved me to trumpet to horn, and I was kind of good at that, playing horns.
Why you? Can you still play that?
Nah, I don't know a tune today.
You could read music back then, though, couldn't you?
Yeah, I can read music. That's that was.
I think it'll come back to
You
you
know
if
what
you
I'm
try.
saying? That's and then it took me hard to catch on when I caught on then, but then I caught on. And once I caught on, I was good, but then, other things invaded my life.
You do it in parades, anything like that?
I ain't get a chance to do none of that.
Okay, so all right, we got to get to that. Mm-hmm. All right, so in elementary it was football and just basic school. What were some of the things you enjoyed doing as a kid?
Man, I enjoyed. I ain't gonna lie. Be honest with you, I enjoyed Pee Wee football. I enjoyed that. I had a cousin named Dion, and all our family, all us athletes. My little brother was a running back. He's shorter than me. I always played running back position. I came up behind my cousin Dion, and he was all state. That man, listen, he had colleges coming from everywhere for him.
Okay.
And I was right behind him in school. So I not only did I mimic what he did, I was rougher than what he was. And he was bigger than me.
Okay. All right. So you got it from who did you get it from? Did you get it from him?
Well, yeah, we the same age, so he kind of led me into the football, and because we were doing the same thing. Our mama had us doing the same thing.
Okay.
Sports and all that. Then they had the White House. You remember the White House? Right there on Pleasant Avenue. It's the White House. Well, it was church people had it, and every 6 months they had changed out or whatever. But there was a court back there, and they had a long football field.
I remember that, but I didn't know the name of it. Okay, it was called the
White House. Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So it's sponsored by a church.
Yeah, sponsored by a church.
All right, so you had a little something to go to, and some activities there
Right.
to get into. So were you good in school?
Believe it or not, I was smart. I am smart.
That ain't hard to believe, man.
I
Cause
was
listen,
getting back at B's and A's.
man, that ain't hard to believe. Back in them days, man, folks, our
Oh,
parents,
you don't get that whoop.
man, what?
They'll put that letter to the flat. They don't see what you got. They'll put that letter to the flat.
Man, them folks weren't playing about their schooling, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about not a lick. If you
Right.
they just weren't playing. Now, let's fast forward to junior high.
Okay.
Let's say transform. Let's start in the summer of leaving elementary, going over to junior high. What junior high did you go to?
Rohan.
When did you start getting kind of street?
Well, when I got to Rohan, I wasn't just street. I was kind of street when I was at Galloway. I didn't really.
Okay.
When I just ventured over to Rohan in 7th grade, I had to be 12 years old.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's when I really started venturing on the street because I had a partner.
Okay.
And we had met each other when we were 10, 11 years old, but we wasn't really street yet. We was up behind another guy that was street.
Okay.
And then when he was very much older than us.
Right.
And he repped something. We was up behind him, like students. You know what I'm saying? Of the game.
Okay.
So, it was about 12, 13 years old when I really got street because I can remember my very first phone call to get out of school. It was believe it or not, it was my partner that rapped with me. With odds.
Really?
With odds.
Damn.
Nitty called me, he said, well, he didn't call me, he called school. He called school, he said, hey, he told me that his daddy just died, we need to get him home. And I'm gonna be back to pick him up. If you can have him out there waiting, or he can meet me at the catwalk. So
Damn.
they come in the room, I'm sitting there doing my classwork. They come in the room and they say, come outside. They come to me all serious and stuff, you know what I mean? They were so serious.
I'm talking about the school authority.
The school authority, the principal
Right.
and everything. So he's like, they got all crowding around me, and I can see everybody looking like I'm about to cry. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going on? They like, well, your uncle coming to pick you up, and I'm sorry to say, but your dad passed. Dad passed. My dad been dead.
Yeah.
I was looking like, what? I
Did you? So you wasn't aware of it at all?
Aware of it all.
Really ain't told you nothing.
Told me not one thing. I thought it was my mama. So when I come out straight, headed straight to that, because I know can't nobody say some stuff like that but somebody that love you, trying to get you to come to where they want you at.
Right.
So I said, it got to be my mama. When I come out, here go Nitty. He standing beside a truck beside the catwalk, behind the truck. Hey. I look over here. Hey, man, come on, man. I'm like, what you talking about, man? I got to get to the house. He said, man, I don't want to get you out.
Man, so what did y'all end up doing?
Man, that day right there, we really didn't priceless do too much. We probably just run around doing.
And that was your first time
my
skipping
first time
school.
getting a station.
About what time of day was it?
You know, it was about 9, 10 o'clock when he did. So we got
said
all the way to 3
day.
o'clock.
Yeah.
We run around doing all kind of stuff. We
ride.
No, we had a car. We taking stuff out of stores, running, looking for stuff to break in, just like the kid do now.
Yeah. Getting into
some
what we call spinning
some shit.
Yeah, you start spinning stuff.
Right.
So now listen. After that, was it on and popping in?
Yeah, it pretty much was on then, cause once you got a taste of the money, you can go out there and hustle your own money. Then me, I was already in a situation where like I seen my mama in places where kids, if they see their mom in them kind of situation, a lot of kids take problems onto themselves.
What you mean?
You know what I'm saying? Mean like, I saw my mama cry because she couldn't feed herself. She didn't have all the money to get us the necessary clothes or the shoes or everything everybody else got. She cried about that.
Right.
And I saw my mama cry at a young age. And when I saw my mama cry, that made me want to help her. And that's what a lot of kids do now.
Now, I'm glad you said that, because it's a lot of young men that ended up in jail trying to help mama.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now,
and ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I wouldn't say nothing is wrong with that. I'm gonna say this right here. As a man now, what choice would you have made? What would you have done different?
As a man now, I think about it because at the time it was like emergency when you look at situations like that. When kids look at situations, they don't look at it as time. They just make a split second. You did it, I did it.
Right. I'm gonna tell you. Well, in my opinion, you're trying to operate as a man, but you got a child's mind.
Got a child mind.
Yeah.
And it's immature.
You know right. So you make spontaneous decisions that's gonna cost you. Now, what's your opinion on doing that? And you try to help mama, but you end up hurting mama.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. At the point of, that's a long history of hurt, because you can't, at the point of when you first help a person, right? And it be mama need that pressure off them. And like my mama and so many other mamas, when I walked in with the money and I said, I found the money over here. I got the money from over there. She went with it, but she knew I was lying. You know,
I was just about to ask you,
she knew I was lying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she knew that, hey, I already can't do nothing with him already.
Right.
I was a boy, needing a man in my life.
Right.
And at that age, when I had made up my mind, I don't think a man could handle me then. Because
and you was, what, 13, 14?
Well, when I was 13, 14, yeah, but when I was 10, I was going up in the main stage right there.
Right.
My mom used to have to really light down on top of me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the schools, I get to fight in school all day. And me and you got to fight in that school, we gonna be fighting all day till they get away from that school.
Somebody got to lose.
Somebody got to lose. Somebody got to say, hey, you got me. You know what I'm saying?
So who at that particular time in your life, who did you fear, or who did you?
I feared my mom. Right? I feared my mom and love my mom in the same rap, because she could put some stuff on you.
Right.
On your ass and on your mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She could put some stuff on your ass and on your mind to make you think.
And were there any OGs in the neighborhood or in the city or in the uncles? Or
now that I look back at it at the age 9, what I looked it up to a lot of people was I got a lot of letdown. Everybody I looked up to, except Nitty. Nitty was the only person from that point to we grown right now has never ever crossed me not one time. Even
so
if
most of the now, what's y'all age difference?
We the same age.
Okay.
We'll be the same age for 2-3 months, and then I'll be older than him for the next 9 months. I'll be
who was older than you that you know, like you got some OGs in the neighborhood, or maybe some old drunks, or some old heads, or you know, some unks.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. It was a lot of OGs. It wasn't just one person. It was a lot of stuff that I seen in the street that I glorized. You know what I'm saying? Looked up to, and when young people looking to be in the street, they look up to these guys, them famous names they hear. You know, the Batman. See, the Batman's not kind of died down, but they got a name out there right now.
Ain't no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? That's popping out there.
Right.
You know, and people knowing he about his business.
And you know what the difference is though? Not getting too far off subject. The leadership ain't the same.
Nah,
because back then,
that's clear.
Right. Because back then, 9 times out of 10, those guys wasn't gonna push you to do, you know, even though you was gonna end up doing it, they wasn't gonna push you to do it. And most of them was gonna tell you, no, you don't need to follow my footsteps.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? So it was a little bit different.
Right.
So now you had nobody that could handle you or tell you ain't finna do this.
Right.
As a male or older OG.
Only other than my mother.
Just your mom.
And you know, my mother married to who I would say my daddy. His name was David Jackson. He rest in peace, both my mother and my daddy passed. So it would be him that could talk to me. And most of the time he meant to me, not on the aspect of bad, he meant to me because he was an Army veteran.
Okay.
So he meant to me on the good part. It was just me. I was already, when you part of the culture, that's a culture out there now. People don't understand.
Yeah.
That's just not a vibe. That's just not an experience.
Yeah.
That you see these kids, every kid walking around with a gun and shoot over 100 times, and everybody got a switch now.
Right.
That's just not an experience. That's a culture now they got going on.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
And a lot of when you catch an older guy mixed up in it, and I always say this because a lot of young guys don't make moves without going to talk to their OGs or their OPs. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna talk to their OGs or OPs, asking what you think about this, even if they don't listen at that point.
Right.
But they just want to hear what he gonna say.
Right.
You know,
and a lot of times they will listen. You know, a lot of times that whatever that advice is, it might catch them right on time.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of time. So it's a catch-22 in there.
Right.
So now, when you started getting into what we call trouble and moving around on them streets, I'm gonna say on a scale of 1 to 10, how many times do you think mama's advice kicked in at that age, and did you some good?
I don't know if I follow mama's advice every time. But it kicked in all the time.
It kicked in all the time.
You know, once you raised at home and that's what you've been raised on, it's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
You know, people can say, I did this, I did. They can get themselves all kind of excuses, but at the end of the day, accountability is everything.
Yeah.
So I can honestly say that every time I broke in the house, snatched an old lady, people don't know I did that. People don't know I did that. I ain't proud of it. So
what do you think drove you to go ahead and do it?
I'm gonna tell you what I think. The lifestyle I seen other people have.
You wanted that bad.
I was running around with cheap jeans on, and what kind of jeans those? Those are girls.
Yeah.
They want my job. I tie the pockets out for them, going to school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All this type of my sister brother, we wore hand-me-downs. We didn't get this odd stuff out the store. If we did, it was good with.
Man, you
know, or the Salvation Army.
Yeah. That's a yeah.
So that's what motivated me. You know what I'm saying? It was always we needed. You know what I'm saying? we didn't know, we was a part of the people that didn't have, the have-nots.
Right.
And me, I seen ways where I had the heart to try it. I knew the risk, and I understood the risk when I got caught. My mama didn't understand me. If she was sitting right now, sitting right here with us, she'd say, he understood as a child. He would look me in my eyes and tell me, I know what I'm doing, mama.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
You knew the risk, but you was trying to make that change.
Make that change. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I've been to the training schools and all that. My mama went through that.
What was your first time like getting into getting caught or getting in trouble like that?
Yeah, the first time we got caught, it was me, Nitty, and the other partner name his name was Mac. His name was McDaniel. We called him Eyebrow. We was calling ourselves the Converse Boys.
That's a new one on me.
So we want to Converses every time you see us three got Converses on.
Converse,
right?
boy.
But we don't get the Converse because can't damn one of our mamas afford to buy these shoes.
Right.
We go in the store and take off our shoe and slip it to the Converse and slip out the store.
And get on down.
Get on down.
What
now
store were you
they
going?
catch you.
Wait, where was you? Where was you going to? What store you were going to?
You know what Lieutenant Juggle was on Capitol, or coming up Monument right there?
Right there on the corner.
Right there, because you remember that was a whole,
whole
strip right there.
Yeah.
They had the shoe store,
everything
right there.
Yeah.
We used to walk up to that. You know what I'm saying? We walk up to that motherfucker.
Walk all the way
down there. We little kids. We ain't no more than 11 years old, 3 of us. We walk up in there. We going down. We had got a couple times. We got away.
I'm trying to think of the name of that one. What was the name of that store back then, man?
And that motherfucker caught us.
Done got caught.
But we come out there motherfucker running with the shoes on.
Man, what was the name of that store back then, man? I can't even think of the name of it. But I sure remember that damn store.
Right.
Clothing store.
They had it all. Man.
Grocery store next door. You can go down to a hair store.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man. So you going in there, getting your Converse, and getting down.
Get down, level the clothes in the store.
Get on back to the hood.
Get on back to the hood.
What was, I mean, after you get the gear, what next?
We just walking around the hood enjoying the work. Man, you got some fresh shit on.
So that was the
motivation. That was the driving part of it. The motivation was always there. The intent was always there because you didn't have, right?
And when
so you want to have, right?
You go back to the hood. And now you the man.
That's right. At kids moment, you know what I'm saying? Because believe it or not, all the stuff I was doing then, I used to be against drug dealers, but I ended up being one. Right?
How the hell?
That's crazy. I tell people every time they talk to me, I say, Hodge would say that, man, I remember when bro was walking around, he called me bro. I remember when bro was walking around with shirts say, just say no drugs.
You end up in the game.
And at a high level.
Let me think about this. Now listen, I do understand that because as children, we all said what we wasn't going to do.
Yeah.
And that was due to the raising that you know how we had been raised. What our mothers 9 times out of 10 instilled in us, and me being lucky enough, blessed enough to have a father in the household.
Right.
You know, my own father in the household had struck fear in me, saying, you know, this the outcome or whatever the case may be, and if you get caught up, you know what I'm saying, I know you know better. Don't look for me to come get you. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel that as well. Now getting caught in
you guys know this now, Black. It was a culture. I keep bringing up the culture thing because when I was out, I wasn't the only 10-year-old, 11-year-old walking around.
Absolutely.
It was a whole bunch of us walking around, running away from home.
Ain't no doubt.
Had our own little spots, everybody to show up in and all this type of stuff. So it was happening in every other home, right?
So if you was doing that then, okay, around what year was that?
Oh, that had to be. I was born in 73, 83, making 10 years old. So 85, 86, 87, 89.
That's when rap was really formulating and
I was walking around with a screen tied to a radio like I got a strap.
Right.
Radio that spot.
Oh boy, man, that's crazy.
I walk around.
Did you ever break dance?
I tried to do a little dance. I was like, I could move a little bit, but I just never really just take a liking to it. I would like it when I'm out having fun. I can do certain things. I can see people do it. I can go and do it.
Man, out of my whole life, I've seen you dance maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Out of our whole time,
and I had to be enjoying myself.
And that you was gonna do. Yeah, you was gonna do that, regardless of what anybody said. I mean, you know what? After I met you, man, I don't never really recall seeing you angry.
Mm-mm.
I honestly can't. I've seen your brother, I've seen Terrell angry plenty of times.
Right.
But I don't think I ever recall you being angry. You always have a smile on your face.
Mm-hmm.
Always drinking, having a good time.
Right.
All right, so back to the story, man. Did you stay in school? Did you skip school? Did you get out of school? Did you drop out?
I skipped school. I was going to school. I talked him into going to school. Now we both going to school.
So it's back and forth.
Yeah,
sometimes you go, sometimes you did.
Yeah, that's right. We made it all the way out of junior high. I made it to Wingfield.
I was about to ask. So you did graduate from junior high.
Right.
All right. And got on into high school. You going to Wingfield.
Right.
All right. At what point did you get some transportation of cars?
Well, by the time I got to Wingfield, that's where I went to Wingfield High.
Uh-huh.
So I got to Wingfield. I was pretty much 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
So my stage was just saying no to drugs. I had a pack then, or I knew what a pack looked like. So
how did you end up? What changed? What made you?
You know what?
Drop saying that and get into it. What?
I think, like I said again, it was my mother. A lot of things mother do, children don't talk about. Like, I say this, I'm gonna say this, I was saving it for the book, but I'm gonna give it to you, bro. My mother sold drugs. A lot of people know that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she did it only to try to feed us. But I was old enough to know. I was old enough I could see I was that child that was decorated. You know, it's always one child. If you got 8 children, it's always that one child that's gonna pick up on everything you do.
Absolutely.
And gonna be able to tell you, and they gonna do it with respect. It ain't be no disrespect, but you can't say nothing because they call them a cat. You know what I'm saying?
So did you confronted your mama about it?
Well, no, I didn't confront my mama because I understood that seeing my mama cry, seeing my mama working for hole-in-the-wall burger places, stealing meat, trying to bring her home for her to feed her children. I tell a story all the time about when we stayed in St. Louis. I tell a story about how my mama had
You stayed in St. Louis?
We stayed in St. Louis in Chicago.
Man.
Yeah. My home is Jackson. But we stayed we frequented them areas. When my mama get tired of Jackson, she up in Chicago. If she don't like Chicago, she down in St. Louis. Because that's where my daddy was. That's where my blood daddy was.
Gotcha.
So, she did a little drug selling, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't to the magnitude where I had jumped in and started doing.
Right.
But it was the way that I saw guys treat my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Guys in the game?
Yeah, in the game.
Oh, okay.
Right. I had on my show, when I first started doing my show on 90.1, it was a guy came over there. He saw me. He said, man, I got to tell you something. And I was looking at him like, what you got to tell me? He said, man, I did your mama wrong. Just look there. He said, man, it was for the drugs. See, a lot of people don't know that my mama did that. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute now. What was his point, you think?
This is what it was. I think he wanted to get it off his chest because he saw me. And they say me and my mom, we look so much alike. You know what I'm saying? Which all her kids look alike.
That I can't say.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody say that me and her look like twins, you know. So I think when he saw me, he had a flashback good, and I think he wanted to get it off his chest. Not only did he get it off his chest, he made me take $100 that he took from her. You know what I'm saying? And he told me exactly what happened. He said, man, don't hit me. Don't get mad with me. I just got to get it off my chest, man. I'm sitting there listening to him because I don't know this is the conversation we finna have.
Right.
And he said, man, I took $100 from your mom. That's how you do that. Cause I know my mom was a mean motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How you do that? So he said, man, I was standing up there with another guy, you know what I'm saying? And he told me, you know, he said, his name was Skeeter. He said, Skeeter told me, she got that money. You got that dope too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he went up there, he said, you got something for $100? And she went in the purse to give him 5 rocks or whatever she gonna give him. And he snatched the stuff out of her hand. And she went on, pulled out the night and came to the house. The man was in tears when he talked to me. We did an interview, and I got it on my own TikTok page too.
Mm-hmm.
We did an interview, and I can give you it, so if you want to see it.
Yeah.
We did an interview, and he was like, man, I just got to look in your face, man. You made a change in your life. I made a change in my life, and I can't rest if I don't do this.
Wow.
You know,
Man,
so
that's
I
crazy.
respected it. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't let me go with that $100, so I was trying to give him his money back. He's like, nah, man, that's for real, man. I just want to pay back my debt to society. I want to pay back my debt.
How long your mom been deceased?
My mom been deceased ever since 2015, 2016.
How did she leave?
She left heart attack.
Heart attack. Okay. Man, that's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
So that influenced you to try drug selling.
Well, yeah. It's same streak, same thing. We broke, still trying to get it. My mama tried the situation. It didn't work out for her. So she did what mothers do. They retreat back home. Mm-hmm. She getting welfare checks, you know what I'm saying? She's still trying to pull out these little odds and ends jobs. And me, I'm old enough now. I'm 13, 14 years old. That I think, in my mind, I can go out here and get it.
What was, like, you mentioned that your father was in, what, St. Louis?
St. Louis, right.
St. Louis. Was he there? Was he ever living here in Jackson?
Well, when he had got with my mother, he was living here. But he came back and forth. And the last time I seen my dad, and my daddy promised me that he was going to take me with him. And as a child of 12 years old at this point. Mm-hmm. And I think that was kind of a letdown. You know what I'm saying? I think that was a disappointment because it stayed in my mind. It's like something that's imprinted in my mind.
Right.
And I never want to do my children like that. I've been locked up all my life, but my children know that he want to be in our life. Okay. He gonna do whatever he has to do to be in our life. He gonna do this, he gonna do this. Yeah, he gonna get on our ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he gonna say shit that we might not understand what the fuck he's saying.
He might not like.
But I know he's telling us the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So
at that point, do you think your father had good intentions, or?
I think he was overwhelmed. That's what I think. I think when he came home and seen he had 7 kids this way. You know what I'm saying? We got a sister up in St. Louis right now.
Okay.
I think that her name is Tara. Her name is Donelson too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that he was overwhelmed. That's what I think. I think he came down here, seen my mom, seen all his kids here, versus he had 1 kid up there. Mm-hmm. You see. So he took the cowboy out instead of just, sticking it out. If you didn't want to be with my mom, still be a man and say that and live up to your expectation, your responsibility.
Did y'all ever make amends before he passed? Did y'all?
Nope. We didn't make amends, to be honest with you, like when he passed, my mama called me. I was in Chicago at this time. Mm-hmm. And my mama called me. She was like, your dad just passed.
So he died when you were young?
Yeah, when I was about 16, 17, I was in Chicago running around. Okay. And I was like, she was like, you gonna come to his funeral? I got you a ticket on a bus. I said, I got my own money to come home. I want to come home. Mm-hmm. He didn't pay attention to me, so I ain't got to pay attention to him. Mm. You know what I'm saying? That was just my feelings. And that was, I never understood when my daddy left me on the sidewalk telling me he gonna take me, and I felt like I owed it to him to leave him like he left me.
Okay. Do you think that, like, today, do you think differently, or What's your thoughts on it today?
I still feel the same way.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I still feel the same way, keeping it real.
Okay. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right, now you getting into the game. What was your first experience getting into the game of dope selling? What did you start with? Weed or cocaine?
I can tell. Okay, one time me and Nita broke in the house over here in Bill Haven. It was a garbage bag full of weed.
Did y'all know it was there?
Nah, we run around, little kids breaking and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Looking for licks.
Looking for the lick. So we go to this house, right?
And mess around and hit a lick.
Knock on the door, nobody answered.
Uh-huh.
We knocked on the back, nobody said no. We knocked on the front, nobody said. You know, we thoroughly knocking on shit to see if somebody gonna say, get away from that house. Then we go on to the next.
Right.
But nobody said so. So we goes up in his house, and Hodge is in the next room.
What y'all doing? Peek and lock, kick your door in?
Gonna break your window, kick your door in. How we gonna get in this motherfucker? We going in this motherfucker tonight.
Getting in there, whatever.
Right. Whatever you got, we
in
finna
there.
get this motherfucker. They gonna have to come. And we gonna be in there no more than about 5 minutes. We ain't in that motherfucker all while trying to hunt. We go in there and look, grab, put in, and we were kids. We had a shopper cart. We put everything in the shop cart.
In case y'all don't know what that is, we used to call it a buggy.
A buggy.
A grocery store buggy, a grocery store cart.
Yeah.
All right.
We put everything in the TV, VCR, everything up in there. But this particular time we broke up in the house, it was a garbage bag full of weed. Not bagged up.
What made y'all go in the bag? Did y'all notice
No,
it?
we was in the house. We was in the house and we, looking.
Uh-huh.
So he was in another room. I went in the kitchen, opened the refrigerator. We just crumblers.
Right.
As they say.
Looking around.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I broke up I went up in the refrigerator, looked around, looked over the bag, see the bag sitting there. Looked like it's just awkward. It's just sitting in our place. Shit sitting there.
Yeah.
So I go to the bag and I can smell the aroma in there. You can smell the weed aroma in the house. So I'm like, they smoke weed. How you smell? He's like, yeah, I think they smoke weed too. So we looking for he up there getting jury out the jury box and whatever else he get. So I said, oh, when I opened the bag up. I said, come on, man, come on.
we got
there's a bag full of weed down. He think I'm talking about a little bag of weed. I'm talking about a garbage bag of weed down here. Yeah. We put the weed.
How much weed do you think it was?
Man, I wasn't no older than 12, 13, 11, 12. I was young. And we didn't have no value on that. We had got a couple.
You don't know how much, like a pound. You don't know just
how much it was.
It was just a lot of weed.
When we pulled up, we got up over there on Wood Street, and we were pushing that buggy. We were coming down the street. We seen all the weed men standing up. We pull up, say, "Man, we got some weed." They're like, "Well, y'all little motherfucker get some weed there." You know what I'm saying? They think they bull. We coming over with an ounce of weed like he thought when I was telling him to come downstairs.
Right.
We pull that motherfucking cover back. They like, "Where the fuck y'all get all this weed from?" We like, "Don't worry about that. How much you want?" Like, man, I spent $750. You know, $750 between us. That's a lot of money right there. We ain't thinking like, drug dealers at that point because we kids that broke into something.
Right.
We go in there, boom. He like, man, he got a garbage bag that's open. Little old tea bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of weed. He still complaining. We go in there, give him a handful of ball. Give him another handful. We going on that.
He getting over though.
Right, he getting over like a motherfucker. Now we know he was getting over.
Yeah, because
and all of them did the same thing.
You didn't know what you were doing, so you just giving it away.
Giving it away, man. We gave away. We kept. We sold up. Our first time we was selling some drugs, was some weed, and we kept that weed at least about 3 or 4 days, and we started smoking weed. And
so that was your entry to smoking weed?
Smoking weed. And
joints or
joints.
Blunts?
It wasn't no blunts then.
Right.
It was joints, and we was rolling like blunts. We put the paper, you know how you put all the paper together and roll it, and we rolled them like low stogies, and smoking it out, little kids. And man, the first time we smoked some weed, to believe it or not, I think that was the crazy, fucked up time. It was smoke some weed, did that weed.
What he said?
Because it had me so just like,
got there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Your first high.
And then the older.
Lazy high.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I don't want no more of this shit. And then after we started, second time, third time, we started keep going back and trying it again. I got my body got adjusted to it.
Man, you know, that's a funny one too, man. I had to mention stuff like that, man, because when we started doing stuff like that, we always say, God, if you just get me through this one.
Yeah.
Or we'll say some shit
So
like
we say
that. Yeah, man. I don't like this feeling, man. I ain't gonna do that no more, man.
Right.
Next week or the next day or whatever case may be, you doing it again. I remember the first time I got fucked up on some Thunderbird.
Right.
Got fucked up on that Thunderbird, man. I was sleeping 2 days.
2 days.
Man, sleep and half sick for 2 days.
That's it.
They won't no more of that. I be goddamn next time out with that girl, man.
That's how I go too.
Drunk some more.
Soon as you get drunk, it's over with.
Yeah.
And look, my friend was so cold. When I was 16, 17 years old, I was younger than that. They were so cold to us, they put me on the porch at the door and knocked on the door and ran. I was so drunk, I was just laying on the door.
Just left you there.
They left me there while I walked down, hit the floor.
Hey, cause they ain't want mama to see. They ain't want mama to see. They knew mama gonna get on that ass.
Yeah.
They knew that. Bring my son home fucked up.
Typical children stuff that they go through now. You know what I'm saying? When you see a kid, for like instance, like the street motivate a lot of these kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't get mad because the streets motivate them.
Right.
What I get mad at is that I need to have an opportunity of men like you and I need to have an opportunity to show the kids different.
Right.
Show the kids, okay, yeah, I understand. I know you might say, hey, you took your lick the way you took your lick, let me take mine. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you gotta say, young cat, you ain't gotta do all that.
Yeah.
You doing
we owe that now, man, because
right.
today is the day of knowledge, man. And it's a whole bunch of stuff, man, that you know, we know better than to do.
Right.
And we can see how the world is wide open.
Yeah.
You know, folks is tired. Mm-hmm. You know, and we came up with all of us, man. That man a little younger than me, but we all came up with one day the world gonna come to an end. Mm-hmm. God coming back, Jesus coming back, he coming to claim his people, this, that, and the third. And it's really looking like that today, man, because you know it's amplified, man, 20 times over now. People don't, you know, back in them days, man, people get shot, man, they leave. Mm-hmm. Now, man, you get shot in the pinky toe, man, you get shot in the hand or finger.
And COVID-19 came through and just
right there. It ramped up, yeah.
I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life.
It was a devastating.
You ever saw that in your life?
Never.
I never saw that in my life.
Never.
I never seen
I don't know, you know, I don't believe in COVID-19, but it was something they put out there that were fucking us up.
And it killed a lot of people.
Yeah, I never did get it. I never experienced it. I never, you know, I was on the health kick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I I went to study. When they started talking about it, and you know, at first they were putting untrue stuff on the screen, you know, to amp it up. Like they were talking about folks, you know, just dying, just on the street, just dying. You know,
but that did that. But I had to actually go through it with a person. I had to go through and watch her mother die from COVID.
Whose mother?
The girlfriend of the girl.
A female that you with. So
right.
Okay.
I had to watch her mother die, and I watched her daddy die. You know what I'm saying? And all this from COVID. I'm talking about
the same
they
girl.
Went to the hospital. Yeah.
Mother and father.
Yeah.
Checked out with COVID.
Checked out with COVID. I witnessed that. You know, that was something that was like, you know, I had to start taking life serious when I looked at that.
Yeah.
Breathing something, you get a slight cold, you don't come back to the hospital. You call out the hospital and tell people, come on, I'm finna die today.
Yeah.
You got to deliver this news. You got enough strength to call somebody and tell them, come over to the hospital today.
I'm
gonna pass today.
I've heard a lot of people say the same thing that you saying. The most recent, I mentioned Breakfast 100 at the beginning of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Most recent was Roy, that owned Fair Street Fish House and Breakfast 100. And he was telling me that he still ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
He's still not right. He said he called it, I think, a couple of times. He said one time it got him coming out the bathroom, filled his lungs up. He said he was so, well, he wasn't actually swole, but he was so full, tight in his lung, he had to lay on the floor butt naked, man, for an amount of hours to get back right. He said he actually thought that was his last day on earth.
I'm telling you now.
And he said right now, behind that, man, he can't walk a flight of stairs, man, without being out of breath.
And then, not only that, you look at this. Look at how long you think we've been drinking this water?
All our life.
All our life.
All our life.
Now, how long can you remember you've been hearing about a boil alert?
I've been hearing about boil alert. I think my first experience
on water.
That probably was in the 80s.
You hear me?
Yeah, it's probably like 81.
And you see how long it is now, they still talking about boiling
water.
And that's what I was telling people. We went from epidemic to a pandemic. Pandemic to epidemic.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I think us being raised on it, our bodies became immune to it.
Mm.
That's why it don't affect us like it affect the younger generation.
Right.
And a lot of things that are unhealthy now wasn't as unhealthy when we was kids. And another thing is like you just said, you ran and played. Mm-hmm. These children, they don't get no activity.
No, they want to be on their phone.
No, they don't get no activity.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, all of that.
They want to do all that.
All of that helps with your health. Another thing is, me and Tony B was talking about this today.
They don't run, dude.
We was out there grounded, barefoot, running in the grass, running on the concrete. So our feet were grounded to the earth. All of that helped. We got sun in our life because we was out in the sun playing all day.
A lot of these kids ain't coming outside.
No,
if it ain't it ain't what they looking for.
No.
They ain't going out there. If it ain't somebody rapping on the stage, they ain't coming out there to hang out.
Yeah, you sure right. So a lot of that help. And like you were saying, man, it's some things, man. The world is just tired, man. The world tired.
I watched 13 documentary. You watched it?
What's the name of it?
13 documentary. It's a documentary about how they started prison and all this stuff.
It's called 13
documentary. I recommend people to go watch this.
Is it like a continuation of documentaries, or it's just one?
It's just one, but it's a couple of. They got a couple of documentaries like Behind the Colors, that type of documentary. But it's just 13. It's about the 13th Amendment.
YouTube.
Right. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all make sure y'all check that out.
And man, I want to just tell you this before you get
okay.
When I went back and looked at this, and we are 5% of the world. Mm-hmm. We are 5%. United States is 5% of the world, but we 25% of prison percentage of the world.
Yeah.
And that's like, people don't even look at them astronomical numbers.
It's the Western culture. Like you said, it's a culture.
Yeah.
It's the Western culture. We call this the land of the free, home of the brave. They allow us to do any and everything, especially black folks, to do any and everything to the demise of our own kind,
That's right.
of our own people. So it's automatic destruction. Now, when you get to tangling with them, it's a different story. When you get to, destructing them, and it's coming from our hands, it's a different story.
It go from the home of the brave to the home of the brave and the what?
Land of the free, home of the brave. You ain't free no more.
The home of the brave and the land of the free to the home of the slave and the land of the cage.
There it is.
That's what they go for. That's what they go for now.
Hey, you heard what he said. Rewind that and check that out. As a matter of fact, somebody need to put that on the shirt. Coin that came from Batman right here. So let's get to the time, man. You done flipped out and started selling drugs. You selling weed.
Well, we was selling weed. We weren't really. We was just getting it away then. So, but we didn't even think about it.
But you getting
some money for some.
Right, you getting. I'm gonna just say, that's your opening. That's your gateway to the world of drug selling.
Cause like, okay, we was breaking the house, so we continued to break the house at that time, and we stepped over to robbery, and we was S1W. We was part of S1W.
Strong arm robbery.
Strong arm robbery. We was robbing with the guns and all kind of stuff. And if people remember, they remember S1Ws. They all come from Wood Street. You know what I'm saying? So when we jumped out, we were robbing everything. You know, and
you get it.
Yeah, and we were doing a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna tell you when we got smart at. These guys we went right. They are most of them deceased. You know what I'm saying? So we get with these guys. We run up in somebody's house. We rob them. They take their masks out. We've been robbing for about a year now. We've been doing so everybody got used to it. They take their masks out and say, man, I don't care who see it. They know what's going on. So if everybody, it's about 8, 9 of us in the house with guns on people. You hear me? Like we the real police. We keep doing how the police come here. Before you realize it ain't the police, it's us. You hear me?
And some of these fools take the mask off their face.
They all of them took the mask except me and Minnie. We don't two stand up there in the mask on. Standing looking at them. They talking about, yeah, be a pro, we here. Man, I put my hand on the heart, put my hand on Nita's shoulder. Take that mask off. I'll take that mask off. Man, from that point on, that was the end of the S1Ws. Because, like, people got to always remember.
And most all of them deceased.
All of them deceased. People got to always remember, like, when you do certain things is supposed to be left where it's supposed to be left.
Yeah.
And when you open up the door to shit, you open up the door to this shit. When you took the motherfucking mask off your face, you let them know for sure it's you. They speculated it's us.
Right.
But to know for sure.
And now that's affiliation.
Right.
All of that come together.
Man, listen, man. After they did that, man, listen, I can tell you one instant. And I always talk about this instant because this is what happened. We was in the house, we counting up money and stuff. We had been out all night robbing. Got jewelry, all still got on the table. We counted up, split it up. I tell Nick, I said, Nick, come on. He said, what you talking about? I said, man, they seen us. I said, I know. They look dead at them. They don't know us. They look dead at them. They know exactly what to come to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We about 16 years old at that time.
Right.
So he looked at me, he said, you free? I said, yeah, man, come on. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? We walk out the door, man. We walk out the door. Them guys, within a minute, they was in a van. They had choppers then, you know, they call them choppers. Them niggas swing that motherfucking van door open and put them motherfucking choppers in our motherfucking face. Boom. And when they looked over in the car and looked over at us, they said, and I'm gonna tell you who it was, Donna Ray O'Quinn. I gotta give props to where props supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? Real nigga shit. It was him, Jay, it was a lot of them. They had pulled right up on. They talk about this same situation right now. They put the chopper right in there.
What was y'all at, man?
Right there on Wood Street, just coming off one of them. Was coming on. And she was on. Now they call what's the dude who played basketball? Tall nigga he went from the Wolves to the Boston. Kevin
Garnett.
They got
right there. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Street, I think, short end. We were coming up there. They whipped down on us, and Donnie knew who I was. Donnie knew exactly who I was, and them niggas had their hand on the trigger. Them niggas won't fight because we just did some shit we ain't supposed to be dead. that nigga done it, and Jake, all them niggas sat there, they said, that's bad now. That ain't what we want. Just like that. This in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock at night. Me and Hodge walk. We can't go back and get nobody no heads up.
How many of y'all was it?
It was about 14 to 15, but the 13 was in the house. The other 2 was outside going, we going, right? So they coming out there. I seen when they walking out there, and I kept telling them, man, y'all need to go, y'all need to go. They don't know why I'm saying it.
Right.
I'm saying, nigga, they know. Y'all from Wood Street, nigga, y'all ain't got no masks on. They know what y'all been doing.
So did Donna, was it, when Donna Ray and them came, was it in retaliation to what y'all had done?
And see, I had told them. So when we pulled up on the street, they jumped out. We was standing back. I said, man, this ain't where y'all gonna do this here, right here. They right across from us. You know what I'm saying? They gonna know it's us.
Right.
Right. Jew right now, over there. Jew shot Donna Ray, shot Mvrder head off his head. Right there, pop, right in the car. You hear me? We went over there, and then I told them. They went over there, we was still, matter of fact, I'll tell you what happened. We had a dope fiend car. So we had got some shit over here in another part of town. They wanted the dope fiend car. We told them, man, we've been doing all kinds of shit in this car. Man, give us a car, give us a car. All right, here you go, you got it. Go ahead. So I tell them, don't go over there in Georgetown, still real now, don't go over there. That man, we ain't going to Georgetown.
The car hot.
Yeah, y'all go to Georgetown, they gonna know exactly who the fuck we is. They don't know who the fuck we is because we don't be over here, we do everything around us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They get thirsty, go down, goddamn, what's the name? This is funny shit. Me and Hodge, we sit back. We like, see, fuck it. We gonna sit back, let them motherfuckers do whatever they gonna do. They going on in there. But they come back there on 4 motherfucking flat tires on iron. Shoot for the stuff. By there, get out the car. He showed me the head. It's a bullet hole in it. He said, man, goddamn it. You shot my motherfucking head out my head. I said, you lucky when your motherfucking head.
Bigger than big.
I just told y'all not to go over there. And y'all still went over here. But, long story short is, okay, the respect that we have for each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the respect that they don't have now for each other.
Right. So how did at that time, man, how did Donna Ray know you? Just from the neighborhood?
Nah, me and Donna Ray growing up together.
Okay.
Me and Donna Ray we growing up together, man. Me and Donna Ray been in train school together and everything. So it's certain things that we ain't gonna do to each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't just because I'm vice lord and he gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just because we being and we respect each other as men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And there's a lot of things like, when you look at them situations back then, man, and it took a man to tell me this right now, because I was looking on how I am now and how I was then.
Right.
And I was, down a little bit about what I was talking about. And I was telling about, I had this, I could do this if I did that. If I made this kind of move, he said, look here, let me tell you something, man. God built you for what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you turn around and go the other way, ain't nothing but destruction. I looked at him when he said that. He said, I'm telling you this. It's not a bad place where you at.
Yeah.
Just because you don't have what you want or what you trying to have, this and that, it ain't all about what you want. You have what you need.
Believe it or not, bro. Believe it or not.
Right.
And it took everything you went through to get to the point you at right now to be a soldier for the Most High. Yep. It took everything you went through. People don't realize that. And I used to tell my mom that if a preacher, when we came up in church, I ain't respect none of the preachers that had the goody two-shoe preachers. If you ain't never been in the street, man, how the hell you gonna tell me to get out the street? Or tell me that it's wrong to be in the street?
Right.
I was raised on that code, man. Well, I wasn't raised on that code, but that code was in my head as a child. Why am I listening to this man here and he ain't never did
right
what I done did. And I ain't really did no hell of a shit. You know, DJing was my thing.
Yeah, you stayed making money.
Yeah, I tried some more bullshit a couple times. Over, as a matter of fact, over there on Maple Street, I tried some little bullshit. Got caught up a couple times doing some crazy stuff. But man, listen. After that point there, things were heating up.
Right.
Really getting serious.
On into the game then. That's when I made my move. That's when I made my move. That was the night I made my move. I was like, man, you know, we ain't gonna do this here, man. Cause we really too much, we really too much finesse for this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We really just hang around people we look up to. But our experience way more better than theirs. We know what we doing. We know how the moves we can make.
When did Do for Self come along? Wait. I tell you what. I'm going a little too fast. So from that point, that night, and you and Willie, y'all never departed.
Never departed.
Okay. So coming out of the S1s, what was your next move?
My next move was, you know, the game over. We do rob. Them niggas took their masks off. We ain't taking our masks off. We ain't fuck that. If you ain't know we robbed you ain't gonna know we robbed you. Fuck that shit. Because, you know, we was wise enough to know that, hey, nigga, they shoot us just like us. Just because they see a dope don't mean they won't kill your ass.
What in the world would happen when you done rob somebody and you see him? Cause Jackson's small.
Small.
It's big, but it's small.
Big. You knew to believe it. When you been around somebody and they don't know who you is, and you sit there with them, and they don't know that, that's a motherfucker right there.
Yeah, you sure right.
You sitting there looking like, damn, I robbed it. He don't even know I robbed. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, was that a high for you?
No, it wasn't really a high for me. It really was scary. Because you didn't know what to trust. You didn't know if this nigga really knew you or playing you. You know what I'm saying?
See, now, you smart.
Right.
See, the average crook don't think like that.
Right.
That's how a lot of niggas get hemmed up now.
Right.
Because they ain't that smart.
Right.
They don't know to stay on guard.
Right.
They just think they so damn slick. Or they done got over one so damn smart.
Right.
And really dumb as hell.
Right.
Until, you know, they get blasted off on.
You know, they hit until they get hit. You know what I'm saying? So,
and most of the time it come around.
And a lot of people think a lot of stuff that's happening is playing. Let me be the first to tell you, a lot of stuff that's happening is not playing.
Right.
A lot of stuff that's happening is on the moment, on site.
Yep.
That's why it's happening like this.
Yep.
See, somebody say, "Oh, it's Facebook." Let me tell you, they got a little too smart for Facebook. There's a couple of them still talk on Facebook, but you don't see as many as they used to be. Like 5 years ago, when I first got out of prison, 5 years, they were flooded on them.
Yeah. They
flashing their gun, telling you come on with it and all that. Now after some bodies drop, knowing that motherfucker pull up at your motherfucking location and show your motherfucking ass, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at the foolishness of the situation.
Right.
I'm laughing at you supposed to have enough sense to know if you gonna call a motherfucker out, you might as well go to him. Ain't no need to call him out and wait for him.
It was trial and error. They didn't really think that they didn't read the fine print.
Right.
On the locations and all that. To have a smartphone and to know that it's got geo-tracking on it.
Right.
Even if you took a picture and put it on Facebook, it's gonna tell your location if you ain't got your phone, your shit set up right. Yeah, it's a lot of that went on.
Yeah, so like when we made I told him, I said, man, listen, Ned, this and this here. Cause they was always rapping. I was the one I always thinking of. Now he got me out of school, he got a genius out of school. He got a person that gonna think of something. I know we can go over here. I seen something over here. We can go over here, go here. I'm just leading and going then because he got me out of school. So Ned was always rapping. He was always doing blah, 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 blah. Every now and then I step in with a good line just to keep him started.
Right.
Get him going. I might say some more crazy shit, right?
Right.
But he was always rapping. And I'd be like, well, we need to do this. He'd be like, right. You know what? You right. Right. You know what I'm saying? No more. And people think that was weird, but that was the way he was. If he made his mind up, he ain't asking no question why. He done already thought of the whys and everything in his head.
Right.
He done said, okay, he right about this. We ain't got to discuss this no more. Yeah, he right. And you think he just gave me a sarcastic answer. He just saying, yeah. But for real, the moment he wake up, he gonna say, bro, you know what you said, such. I think you was right.
He was on it.
Yeah, he listened to what you saying. And that was made us brothers.
It probably was a more of a respect thing.
Right.
He respected you.
Right, and that yeah. And but when he wake up, like I told you, when he wake up that morning, whatever it was, it could be something I could be totally wrong about. He would be the only person that could walk up to me and talk to me. If you know back when he was in jail house with me.
Yeah, all the time.
Right there with me.
All the time.
He would be the only person that walk up and say, bro, you wrong. Come on. And I'd look at him. I might talk some shit. My legs is about to be moving the way he want me to move. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't get on it where I'm going, but I think about it. And it take people like that to be in your life that you respect and love. See, you can respect some person, but you don't love them, that's half of it. Because once you respect them, fuck the rest of it. You feel what I'm saying?
Just dropped the jewel, people. He just dropped the jewel, man.
So it's just that.
Respect and love.
Right.
Yeah, go a long way.
A long way. And when he was the only person can do that. So when at the time we started talking about some drugs, this nigga, I talked about, I ain't gonna say it's real now, I'm gonna say T-Mac. A lot of people back in the day know who T-Mac is.
Right.
T-Mac was a guy that really didn't get into too much. He was laid back, smooth, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say his name, but he know it if he ever hear it. T-Mac, I don't want to put his name out there unless he, say I could do it.
Right.
But T-Mac was like, we went to him, we told him about what we were trying to do, and he says, I got you. So we started dealing with him. We were still fuck-ups. We would run out with packs and lying and shit. You know what I'm saying? But he stuck with us. He stuck. And see, that's the thing, a lot of things that happen right now. A lot of these kids make a mistake, it be just a mistake. If you catch somebody that make a mistake, sometimes you gotta allow them to correct their mistake. See, a lot of things happen is immature.
Yeah, instead of taking their life on.
Yeah, this the way it's supposed to happen. This the game. Nah, nigga, the game ain't no manuscript. It ain't just cause it say this in the word right here.
So, man, you know what? We gonna talk about that. Go ahead on, man. Boy, you got me thinking over here, man. But now, I got to tell the people that there's some stuff that I already know about this man, and we gonna get to that. We're gonna fast forward and get to that in just a second. All of the things that you've heard about Batman, and I'm talking about it's a plethora of stuff on the internet, in the archives of Clarion Ledger, WLBT, the Bottom Line, all of these sources, man, that you can look this man up and find out these things. But those things at that particular time, now we're talking about most of it. We're going to talk about a little more of it. But the things that we're talking about that happened at those particular times, man, wasn't always what they said it was.
Right.
It wasn't always, and I can honestly say that because a lot of these times that these things were put out there, man, I was actually knowing exactly what went on. But anyway, let's get back to the man of the hour. Going from robbing to getting into dope selling, was it a hard transition for you?
Well, it pretty much was like, you know what I'm saying, either we gonna rob and get shot up like these niggas get shot up in front of us, or we gonna go on in the game. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like seeing a lot of individuals that we were connected to still robbing, they was getting shot up like
making foolish mistakes.
Right, because they had showed their show.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? So
now you mentioned all of them are dead, deceased.
Yeah.
Did they get killed then?
Nah.
Or
they got killed later. They got killed long after.
Did all of them get killed, or did some of them just die?
Some of them just died.
Okay.
You know, the life they chose, the rough life.
Right.
Smoking shit they ain't got no business smoking.
Yeah.
Fucking with shit they ain't got no business fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Certain shit you gotta know better. When you know better, you do better. And a lot of people think you can slide through. You can't slide through because you ride through that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Right.
That is a fact.
A lot of people don't know that.
So getting into that world, did you fear it? Or did you get into it? What they did movies or
robbery was more. We was doing a lot of robbery, so we had a lot of shootouts then.
Right.
So it wasn't nothing I really feared at that point because we was already having shootouts. So I knew one thing, I kept my gun on me, he gonna keep his gun on him. We're gonna be ready. They call them sticks now, so we had our sticks on us. You know what I'm saying? We gonna rap a nigga a lick. You know what I'm saying? They run up on us the wrong way, you gonna get what you looking for. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So, you know, my life, if I tell you, it'll take more than what time you got right here to hear.
I already know it. Let's fast forward, man. Let's fast forward to the using your financial situation to be a businessman.
Okay, now when say for instance, like when he's talking about how we transition to selling cocaine,
right,
to getting in the drug game. We transition, and I remember I told you how I ended up doing anything wrong because of my mother crying and we didn't have what we had. Right. And I always tell these stories. I tell these stories when I'm out mentoring. I tell people that just because people ain't on no drugs don't mean they ain't no addict. Some people addict for money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
When you can spend $10,000 in a day and don't miss it.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a good 3-4 years.
Yeah, you hooked on something.
You hooked on something. White people jump out the window onto the concrete 30 floors up when they go broke.
Yeah.
But the good thing about black folk, we go broke and try to figure another way.
Yeah. Don't figure another way. Yeah, ain't no trying in it.
You got some of these stupid ass niggas do the same shit, but majority of black folks are resilient. They're type people gonna figure a way, just like when they gave us slop when we made cuisines. You know, our history, I tell people about, I speak about a lot of this because like my mother didn't have it, so I figured out I get in this, I do this, I do that, I get in the drug game, all that type of thing. I'm rolling, I'm doing whatever, no matter how high level, I'm buying. I'm spending $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on drugs.
How in the world, man, what did it feel like, bro, having that type of bread then, man?
Man, you saw me most of the time, so you know how I felt.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when your first time, man, getting that type of money, man, why didn't you go crazy? Why didn't you get on drugs?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what I did though.
I mean, we know now.
I enjoyed seeing the people around me that were selling drugs with me. Cause I don't never say selling drugs for me. They were selling drugs with me.
Right.
So the people around me, just to see those people happy, just see those people able to feed their family. And there's a lot of things going on like that right now. If a person, when you can't take an opportunity from a person, not give them an opportunity. I'm a prime example of that. See, look at what I'm doing now. The stuff that I'm doing now, my pride, like right now. I'm working down at the City Hall. I'm in the community deep.
You give it.
You know what I'm saying?
I always have.
Right. I was doing that
I
without
ain't gonna let the cat out the bag. Always have been that type of bro.
And I got all that from my mom. That's why I do TikToks about mama taught me well. I got all that from my mom because my mom is stud. And look, this ain't, you making something to survive. You're not making something for a vibe. You're not making something to make everybody think I'm just a big man. I'm just selling drugs. I'm just doing this. When I was selling drugs, I got addicted to the money. I admit that. I admit losing the $40,000, $50,000 to T-Mac and a couple other individuals. $50,000 right there on the table. Them guys scared to pick the money off the table because they know, man, shit. You see all these niggas walking around with guns and choppers. And they serving dope in this motherfucker like that in New Jack City for real. And we this the head nigga done lost all the money sitting on the table. And I'm looking at the money and like, nigga, I don't think you gonna fuck with that money right now. But T-Mac was a person that I was cool with. He was my brother, my friend. He was the first person I told you I went to, got the drugs from.
Yeah, and all of this playing in my head, man, and I'm just trying to get a mental picture of what the fuck did it feel like, bro, coming from where you came from,
right,
and getting that type of bread. And the reason I'm saying it is because, like I said, now me and you both know it was the Most High.
right.
But then, most of the guys that did that, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, right here from my own city, they don't look like you. They don't walk like you. They old looking because they crashed out. You feel what I'm saying? When they got that type of money, they couldn't handle it.
Right, right.
What made you different?
But like I told you,
At that time,
just seeing that I could feed the people around me. My mama installed it.
You kept that.
I kept
as
that
time. Yeah, as your motivation. I got to be here for the people.
Right, and I had different people with me. I didn't just have vice lords with me. A lot of people
I know that too. I know that too.
And vice lords
in the family.
Right, and we gonna die for each other. So it was there, and I had just as many gangsters than I had vice lords.
Did you get,
if not more?
Did you get backlash from that?
No, because I was a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? I respected the code.
Okay.
You gotta respect my code now. You know what I'm saying? Because if I see somebody describe me today, if they would have thought about me then they would be able to describe me the way that person described me today. That person told me, said, I watched you. We gave you a job. We see him watch you 6 months. And you created a system within our system. And it works. Faster, smoother, no arguments, everything's where it's supposed to be.
What made people respect you or feel you like that?
Well, what made people respect me, and I'm gonna say what made people really love me, was I was a person that you can walk up to and talk to.
So in your description, it wasn't fear.
It wasn't fear. It wasn't fear in the neighborhood.
Right.
It might be fear outside the neighborhood because a lot of people heard what they heard, but in the neighborhood it was love, all love.
Gotcha.
All love. I could
because you know, coming through, like I said, man, your lane is totally different than a lot of these cats that came up there. You know, I can call some names, man, and straight, it'd be straight embarrassing to them and some of their people.
Right.
But I saw this. I was able to see the transition, the money, the business, the family, the unity, and people, they stayed in their lane.
And see, when it was like that, like I tell people before I even tell the story, this ain't nothing I'm bragging on. This is a true fact story. And this is how I felt. These are my feelings. These are genuine feelings that I had when I was making these moves in the streets. I go to pick up 5 bird, 10 bird, 30 pounds of weed, 50 pounds of weed. I got a whole neighborhood to take care of. So my whole concern ain't nobody outside this neighborhood. I was buying bikes and giving bikes on Christmas, 25, 30 bikes on Christmas right in my neighborhood. And I was doing that on an every year basis. It wasn't no, a person would walk up to me and say, hey, my bill is just such. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people say, hey man, he was doing that because he was selling drugs and he didn't want the folks still on him.
I was about to ask you that because a lot of people have done that. They give to the community out of fear.
They gonna tell them.
Right.
And that was never my case.
Right.
That was never my case because like, it's a culture thing. And a lot of people don't understand what I mean. It's a culture. It's already been going on before I got here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just one pig that fitting in the puzzle now.
Right.
Right? So when I came up and my generation came in, everybody was already fine-tuned what was going on.
How did it feel to have your name all over the news like that?
Well, when it was on the news, I was scared to death. It was on the news, I was scared to death, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you, I was scared to death. Man, I got indicted for 8-9 murder charges, ranging from accessory to murder, accessory de facto murder, man. And I never thought I'd be getting out of prison because the guy that did it, he went from 3 stages to do what he did. He went from news executive to MVN, from MVN to the mayor.
Now, at one point, y'all was cool, wasn't it?
We was cool. Not me and not Frank. I never met Frank a day in my life.
Really?
Never met Frank a day in my life.
Man,
I ain't never hung around Frank. I ain't never been around Frank Mills. I don't know him. All I know is he got on my ass. That's all I know. The bottom line.
And
something that I kept saying, I hope I don't never end up on him.
And ended up
on it. And you know, let me tell you something. A lot of people don't know this. The situation with that, right? And Frank Milton. Frank Milton was a person that I not necessarily liked, but I respected, right? Because I knew his intent. It's when I don't know your intent that I don't respect you. Because I don't know your agenda.
Break that down.
Meaning that it's sneaky. I can't figure it out.
Underhanded.
It's underhanded. It's behind my back.
Slimy.
Yeah, it's deceitful. So if I can't figure it out, if I can't understand you, then why would I want to deal with you? That's the average. If somebody dealing in the game, like any kind of game, right now, the person that deal with them, they're gonna have to feel it. They not just gonna deal with you because you getting a bunch of money. They got a bunch of money. Think about it. You got Mexicans in Jackson right now. You don't think the cartel here now?
Yeah.
They here?
Yeah.
They dealing with some of these.
They've been here for a minute.
They dealing with some of these young ass stupid motherfuckers right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can look at him. He ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it.
So right.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna cut the call. He know we can see this already.
Yeah.
We saw it over where we was at. Now we can see this full play because you got a bunch of guys that don't understand money. Mm-hmm. And when I was getting money, like you said, I was getting 300. This money I was having around, it was addiction. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I got out of prison, you know, I went to jail 2 or 3 times before I got a long stint. I went 1 year.
Yeah,
1 year.
I remember.
Then next time you see me, it was 7 years. Next time it was 20 years. See, it started getting bigger and bigger. But the 1 year,
you ever got a total?
Or
how much time of your life was taken?
I've been locked up half my life, 25 years. I'm 50 years old.
20 years of your life.
25.
25 years of half of your life been behind the wall.
I'm talking start from 12 years old going to training school. And my mama sent me to a training school at 12 years old. Not that I blame her for it, because it was something that she told me not to do and I did it. And I respect it because my mama lived up to her word. If she told you, don't do it. Mm-hmm. She meant, don't do it. Don't push my hand and make me show you what the fuck I do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's missing in a lot of households right now.
It is.
You know,
it is.
Your child do something you told him don't do, you make up a reason why you gonna forgive him.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna forgive you, I'm gonna love you, but you finna get this punishment right here.
Yeah.
You finna take your lick, son.
Yeah.
A dog, you finna take your lick now. You have to love me out.
All of that teaches accountability.
Yeah.
Whether it's self-accountability or accountability that come your way by reasons of force. Yeah. You gotta accept the accountability. So now, you getting all of these. How did these murder charges come against Batman?
Well, the murder charges come because Frank Milton was already. He made up in his mind, right, that it was a beef that was on the street. Mm-hmm. So it was a beef on the street. And just like I tell anybody in a beef, you ain't got to point and tell nobody what to do when they know their life in jeopardy. See, a beef doesn't gonna go one way. A beef go 2 ways. Mm-hmm. When 2 sections got beef with each other, that means this section out to this one and this section out to this one. Yep. And both sections know who the shooters is. And they know if they get up on them, it's over.
So, this name calling, putting you out there, your first time hearing something like that, what did you think your move was gonna be, or what was your move?
What you mean?
Like when you heard your name,
on TV,
mixed up in some, yeah.
I was in prison already. I was already in prison on a charge, unrelated charge to that.
What kind of charge?
I was in prison for...
The first time was this the first time you went like to prison?
I was in prison on gun charge. But no, it wasn't the first time. See, I went to prison 2 times before, year here and year there.
Okay.
Right?
All of these was drug related or?
No, all my charges always been violent. Shooting in an occupied dwelling.
Okay.
And the second time I went for was first time was a shooting in an occupied dwelling and an aggravated assault.
Okay.
So then I turned around after I went to jail for 1 year, I got out. Right?
Those 2 charges right there was before any type of murder allegations.
But first, let me tell you these. These 2 charges was linked together.
The first 2.
The first 2 charges are linked together. They're not
shooting
charged
occupied dwelling and aggravated assault.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of kids don't understand. When you go to jail for a lot of charges, try to get all those charges dissolved. Try to get all the charges out your way. Cause like I didn't get them charges. I took a year for this, and then once I got out in the street, and I was out there balling, doing what I was doing. I was just getting in. I was doing my thing, getting grimy, doing my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ooh, excuse me. I was doing my thing, so they come back with the charge that I had when I was 16 years old. Me and Nitty caught charges when we were 16, 17 years old.
Oh,
and they bonded us over to the grand jury, so that ended up sending us to the city jail. Like what they got going on now in the detention center right now. You heard about the juvenile breaking out and all that. You ain't heard about that? They broke out, and on my radio show, I said this, and I say this openly because I be wanting people to understand. Okay, in the detention center, the detention is not built for murderers.
Right.
They not built for that. So you can't get mad at these folks when these folks break out on these folks. What you want them to die? That ain't where they supposed to be at. Right? You supposed to have people that break a house, that steal something out of the stove,
right?
That cuss their mama out, they don't want to go home.
It's detention, right? Just like in school.
But you hold this like a jail. It's not a jail, right? That's why you can't keep them in, because you know what? When we was that age, they bound us over to the grand jury. They bound us over to the grand jury and sent us to a real jail. We was grown then. That's what they meant, right? Okay. But when we get to that real jail, they not sticking us in there with grown men not old enough. They sticking us with they got a whole section for kids our age.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You in a jail, we can hold your ass here. You ain't none of this talking that shit you talk with. You here now.
Right.
You did a crime that grown men do. So we gotta treat you one. We know you a child, so we gonna understand that. We gonna respect it.
Right.
Until you do some shit over here, we gonna stick your head over there. You know what I'm saying?
You still got to do this time.
Yeah, you still got to do
the crime that you committed.
And see, they got a lot of pressure on the folks. That's why the Jackson crime thing is so bad. I think they don't have nowhere to house them. How you gonna house them?
They don't.
In a detention center.
They don't.
That's not made. That's not made for that. Yeah. You got to house them over here in the jail, and Hines County supposed to have a section for them. They know they do. They got money for this stuff. This ain't nothing I'm just talking about.
Yeah.
They got money for to do what they supposed to do.
And why you think they ain't doing it?
Why you think they ain't doing it? Because they splitting the money. Let's keep it real. They splitting the money.
Yeah.
They know what they supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
They acting like they don't know, but they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's to be told now. It's to be told. We gonna get to that on another podcast. Yeah, because I've been wanting to tell that for a minute.
Right.
I'm so aggravated with our people, man.
Ooh. And people say, man, you would did this, you would did that. And I tell them the story I'm telling you, how I started, how everything went, and the decision I made back then. You know what I'm saying? When you get old, you get mature. You start thinking about life more. You know, you start thinking about the people life around you. And I'm gonna tell you this. I have never told nobody else. But when I went to prison and I got out, and everybody was able to go to their own way, that was one of the happiest moments of my life.
What you mean everybody's able to go their own way?
All the people that depended on me, You go get the pack, make sure they got their pack.
Right.
They go and come back with the bricks and the birds. They was off on their own.
So was it when you was like before you went to prison, before that time came, did you feel pressure? Did you feel, were you tired?
I always felt pressure. I always felt pressure, and I was tired because I wanted to make decisions and get out. I wanted to make sure I had got a club right behind Galloway, called Players Play.
Yeah.
So that was my whole thing about, okay, I want to go legit.
That I DJ,
That's right.
Yeah.
I want to go legit now. I want to do this. I freaked it out, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the whole Birdland crowd, Johnny T's name, the whole Birdland crowd was coming straight to them.
Straight there.
I'm talking about they were doing the same thing.
I had to break that and run over there.
And they was in that back. So that was my way of saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And unfortunately, it didn't go the way I thought. You know, it went a whole different way. I ended up getting arrested, going to jail. Frank Mvrder ended up coming out with all the stuff he was coming out with, which was all bullshit.
Did you have a backup plan?
Nah, I didn't have no backup plan because you don't think that for when you're in the game.
Was it because of trust? Did you not trust others around?
A lot because trust.
Yeah.
You know, because you trust people, right? Don't mean they're going to do the shit they supposed to do.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, the people I trusted, they didn't do the thing they supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get to a point where I feel like if I gave it to you, and that's one thing my mom always implemented, I always said to me when I used to get mad about stuff, get ignorant about stupid shit that I've been done, put myself in, she would say, if you gave it to them, you gave it to them.
Yeah.
Don't you get out here because you gave somebody something.
Right.
And you feel like you got to go do this, and then you put yourself in more trouble.
Dropped another jewel, people.
So it was just like,
yeah, you got that's called accountability too.
Right. It
like you loan somebody something or you front somebody something, you did that. Don't turn around and tear your life all apart, man. You know, there are some stipulations to that. There are some situations where you can go hard and you need to go hard. And there's some fools out there you got to make examples out of. But don't twist your whole life around, man, mess your life up, man, because you chose to, you know, you made a decision to do that.
Right.
And it didn't go like you thought. So now, at this particular time, let me ask this before we go any further. How did Do for Self, how did the name come about, and how did because you was one of the first young businessmen in the music. And I'm gonna tell you a secret too before we get through. You were one of the first businessmen in Jackson when it come down to having a record label and really a whole. You had like a conglomerate music situation going on. Right? How did that come about? What modeled that?
Well, what modeled it was seeing Wildlife Society. Seeing Renegade.
Okay, so you did get some local.
Yeah, seeing local people, seeing the Smoke D, seeing all these people doing their thing. And I was already doing my thing, but I wasn't out as they was. Like you had Smoke D down with the Trill Life thing going down with the UGK. You had Renegade, and them, they were messing with Jay Prince and them too. They were messing with Jay Prince and them. And you had a lot of people that were connected to people. I wasn't connected to those people, but I was. And a lot of people said, what you mean? Okay, I wasn't connected to the Jay Prince, but I was connected to the Donna Rays. I was connected to the Jews.
That was very connected.
You see what I'm saying? And you gotta think about all the history we already had. I gave you a little of that history. You know what I'm saying? We already had history with each other.
Right.
So the respect was there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when it came to the situation, I knew I could get a concert. I knew who to go to and talk to if I wanted to get a concert. I knew if I wanted to get this yard, I knew people, the connection of having connection to people.
Right.
That got properties, that they already doing stuff. But people saw me do a show at Camp Kickapoo. A lot of people don't know I'm the first person about Yin Yang Twins here. Which is why you try I'm the first person about them here. before they even came out, before anybody knew of them, they were still in Atlanta. When we brought them here, nobody knew of them.
Right.
Drummer. Live, right. Brought him here. Nobody knew of him. Right. It was a lot of stuff that we would bring concerts here doing the same thing people doing right now.
Yeah.
And
hey, that's the history, y'all. This is the stuff that y'all need to know about. A lot of you young record execs, promoters, DJs, and all of that, you better listen to what this man's saying because it's real history. And the thing that I want to tell you about Batman is this right here. I'm going to tell you what I used. A lot of people ask me, how did I become Asiatic Black? It was because of people like this man right here. I was smart enough and don't know where I got it from. I guess it was the Most High. I was smart enough to know it was gang banging in the city. It was a whole lot of, there was a whole lot of separation in the city. But I always worked at the blood buckets, the scummiest, hole in the walls clubs that there was. Because I had a gift.
You saw us tie some clubs up.
Absolutely.
You been the DJ, but I used to see you like, God damn it.
Yes,
back
indeed.
at the kid out there.
Yes, indeed. And the thing was, you know what I'm saying, from the strip all the way up, I knew if I kept key players in the city under one roof, if I needed to handle something with that part of town, I knew who to talk to or who to go to. And it was a business thing because most of these guys had studios, record companies, they were rapping or they were doing producing. Might have been a couple of them wanted to be DJs. So I kept the relationship going. And also the club owners too. They kept their relationship going. And that's something that y'all can use today. A lot of people say, we can't figure this out. We don't know how, they don't want to, I don't really know the word to use, but a lot of this violence in this city can be handled just by people you know. In other words, key players in the city, there's no more key players in the city, I'm gonna just put it like that. But if you made key players in the city, such as Batman, I knew if it was a situation with Wood Street, it was Batman. You had to handle it through him. If it was a situation with Dufacel, you had to handle it with him. So the relationship I kept with key players in the city kept the city in a sense of calmness. When they came to these clubs, most of the times it was a successful night, but a lot of times, like he said, they tore that motherfucker up. I'm talking about straight ripped it. So with these situations, man, that start occurring with you trying to clean your money up, what was the discouraging parts about it?
The discouraging part was when you get into something and you agree with something, people don't understand when you say yes, I'm with it. You gotta be with it. You gotta go with your mood. Then you can't turn around and say I'm with it. Then I ain't with it. Yeah, I understand that.
Some of the people in your circle,
right? And that was discouraging moments when people would lie on you, put themselves in a situation, put you in the situation they in, because back then the police knew. Okay, Batman, this is crew, this was going on, or what they think that's going on, right? And once you get caught up in a person that's in the game, starting to feel like the police, right? He started thinking, okay, they don't like back this way, so all I gotta do is put this on back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that was a lot of situations that I went through. That's why a lot of people don't understand that when you go on a namesake thing, or you go on
just on somebody's word.
On somebody's word, then you put yourself in a vulnerability state. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's where I was. Even though I was the head of everything, I was vulnerable at that point because I'm vulnerable to you because you my right hand man. I'm vulnerable to you because you my left hand man. I'm vulnerable to you because you right here with me. All us together. So I'm vulnerable right here because I trust all of y'all. Right. And I think y'all trust me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody in the crowd think they smarter than everybody in the crowd.
And that's where the BS came in.
Every motherfucking time. When it's like that, because people don't never even think about, okay, if I say I'm with black, I'm with black. I ain't got no time to go, when we get under pressure, I change my mind. No, ain't no change no mind right here.
So when these things happen to you, how did you handle it?
Well, you know, one thing about it, when it happened, I had to go to jail. I had to do time. And time.
Were you bitter about that?
Well, sort of, but not really. Sort of because I knew I trusted you. And I respected what you did, not the telling part, because it wasn't no telling snitch, it was lying. Because a lot of people don't understand, when a lot of these motherfuckers come to court and say they telling or they sign some paper, they be lying on the motherfucker they be telling on.
Mm-hmm.
They just throw that motherfucker in their motherfucking position.
Yeah.
Oh, he did everything. And a lot of people don't know when people do stuff. They think I do this, I do this. So the world, that's their vision of me. And if a person can see the world vision of you, then why not take that chance to say it was him?
They done set it up.
Y'all already think he do it. So let me make it true now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was that part, not to say I was a saint.
It's sort of like the boy that cried wolf in reverse.
Right, not to say I was a saint because I was very much deep in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when people see that you so much truer than what they want to be, the key word is want to be.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily need to be. You see, this right here is a need to be.
Mm-hmm.
See, I need to be real in order to keep going. It's a need for me to be real. My word, I need my word to be what it's supposed to be. Not that I want it.
Most of those situations, all of those situations are behind you.
Mm-hmm.
At what point, man, you complicated, bro. You complicated. At what point, man, 25 years is a long time, big man.
And then see, I did it at spare times. And a lot of people, when I tell people, they be like, well, Batman, you remember you? I'll be like, I was in jail that time.
Man,
they be like, how you was in jail and everybody was still talking? It mean, like I tell them, every time I came out, I did my thing. You know what I'm saying? At a high level, when I come back to the street.
When you came out first time, how did it feel to know you finna go back? And why did you run?
Well, my mom taught me not to run. She always taught me, I don't get the truckload with. In 20 years later, you sit somewhere, it might be something you try to do. And you got already established, and them folk walk back up and tell you they gotta take you to jail. Yeah. So she established that in my mind. But why did I'm trying to say.
No. What you just got out of jail, now you finna go back.
Oh yeah.
What did you feel like? What
you gotta know every time, like when I got out of jail, I stayed out 2 to 3 years, maybe 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I go to jail, now I'm out 5 years. I got to say that. If people don't know when I keep saying, man, I've been out 5 years, they look at that and like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've been out 5 years. They don't know why I'm saying it. I'm happy because I'm past 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like people being off drugs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sobriety.
That's an accomplishment.
It's an accomplishment that I'm out this long. I ain't into nobody. Ain't nobody looking for me, and I ain't looking for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once them years, like when I would go back to jail, I would be pissed off, fucked up, mad at everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told you, my charges stayed from when I was 17, 18 years old. I ain't catch no new charge till I caught murder charges. All the charges I was going to jail for before then were charges I caught when I was 17, 16, you know, all that, and they bound me over with. When I come
catching up with you.
It caught up. Because when I went to jail, Nitty had 2 charges with shooting occupied dwelling and aggravated assault. I had 7. 7. When I come through the door, I thought they were talking about somebody else. They were talking about me. They said, you got 5 aggravated assaults. I had 6 aggravated assaults and a shooting occupied dwelling. My bond was no bond. So a lot of people have been down there pressing charges on me. But I'm gonna tell you this, and people don't understand it. But now that I look back on life and I look at where I'm at and what I'm doing right now, I know it can be no, because I'm not a Bible thumper. A lot of persons gonna pick up a Bible and tell you, I read the Bible while I was incarcerated. I read the Bible here and there. I read the whole Quran. I read anything that's religious because there's something truthful out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned that it's a man-made book.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that in front of people. I don't care how they get mad with me,
mm-hmm.
but I would tell them that I'm spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Father God for truth. And a lot of people know this. When you doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing, something speak to you right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you when you wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
right.
That's not you telling you wrong.
Right.
That's Father God telling you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to listen, because if you don't, it's something else waiting there. Because he already done woke you. He already done woke you up. He already said, hey,
don't do that.
Don't do that. And
that's
you still go bad.
That's your protection right there.
Right.
So ain't no need in asking later on why I'm in this position.
And you still go and do it. And then when the outcome not what you want, it's worse than what you thought it ever could be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids right now wishing they could be out playing football, shooting basketball, or just out walking down the street talking to a girl. They somewhere in a jail cell right now, wrestling with a mat. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on they meal at 5 o'clock. And the thing about it is, I try to tell all the juveniles that I mentor, I get around and talk to, that this is a situation, is a no-go right here.
What did you do in jail? What did you mostly do in jail?
Well, when I went to jail, that's why I mostly got my learning. Be honest, studying, going to classes, you know, because I had to go.
And it is true that in some of your cases you represented yourself, didn't you?
Well, kind of, but didn't, because I had a lawyer on the side of me to tell me what I couldn't do. But yeah, kind of.
But
yeah.
Now I did hear. Now I don't know if I heard it right.
Go ahead.
That a lot of times you told your lawyer
when in jail. Yeah, I did that. When I was just saying this to one of my friends in the car. I said, man, I told my lawyer to eject right here when they called my name back, man, in that courtroom. And he told me that the judge objected. And I looked at him when he said it, but I trusted him so much that I didn't question what I should have questioned right then.
Yeah.
Why you not objecting? Because it got to be something come from out of our corner, too.
Right.
It just ain't nothing come from the hill over here.
Right.
Over in this corner, they got to say something. Over in this corner, we got to say something. Why you didn't object? And what his whole excuse was to tell me was because the judge had objected, it wasn't no need for him to object. I was young and naive that I didn't understand that it's got to be an objection out of my corner. Still, stapling on top of her objection.
Did you, when you was in some of those trials, was it some people that you were surprised to see that wasn't on your side?
Yeah.
Or did you see some?
I talked about
a
couple of people that was on that showed up that I would have thought would never showed up in the courtroom. I would have thought they'd been more manly than what they was. We all older than that. People probably ask me now why I won't go blow their motherfucking head off now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to keep it real, when God get in your life, you know, as God teach you a different way, you gotta take that path. You got to take that path on a blind faith. And you can't let nobody else break your faith up, because they will break. The devil work all day, every day. Don't care what you're talking about, what you're doing. The devil is real. Just so you believe in God, better know it's a devil.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is a God to some people.
Right. So when you know better, you do better. I said that earlier in the show. When you know better, you do better. And I had to realize, okay, these guys, this is the way they look at life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And by them looking at life the way they look at it, this is the way they means of getting out. You know, like, let's just talk about it. Nathaniel Brand. Let's just say his name right here. This is something that I'm not spreading. This is documented.
True fact.
You can pull this up on Google. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Roger Taylor, Roger Jones, Roger Flintstone Taylor Jones. You can pull this on. You can pull this up. He's a guy that, you know, we was like this, like then.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought that they'd be sitting on the stand pointing at me. I would never thought that. Because all the stuff we had already done, was doing before they got caught up. I was already locked up. So they really didn't have to do it. But by all this locked up already, they used me as a scapegoat to get out.
Did they get out?
Yes, they did. They did get out. They did get out. I ended up getting found not guilty, but they got out. But the thing about, when people talk about karma, you need to believe it was real. Because one was in jail. Nathan Brand was already on life sentence. He wrote Frank them a letter, in the DA letter, Faye Peterson. And then he came back testifying. Faye Peterson did not want to try to take us to trial because she knew it was not enough evidence. But she was scared for a child. And I can understand that, because Frank knew how to push people to get them to do what he wanted to do.
Right.
So, Nate, what I couldn't understand was me and you slept in the same bed together. Dude, first time I ever shot somebody, it was with you, nigga, about you, nigga. Now, so how would you turn around and have nothing to do with a case, but get on it? And I'm the nigga you get on.
What do you think his intention was?
To get out of prison. He had a life sentence. So they commuted his sentence from a life sentence to 8 years to testify against me. Now you gotta think about it, Black. You're gonna have a part 2 to this, because we gotta get ready to go.
Yeah.
You have to think about it. When they arrested 14 to 15 of my guys. They had helicopters and guards on the roofs, and they had the streets blocked out. This is something they can pull up on Google and know that I'm not lying to you. You go look at this. This is what Frank Milton did. He brought people back such as him to testify against me. He brought Flintstone back. We didn't know Roger Taylor was a professional snitch. We didn't know he was a he had been testifying against people in Texas and all of these little states and cities.
Do you think he was a plant from the door?
Nope, because we would have been fucked up.
So at some point,
it was a neighborhood thing. We was good, so it was a good thing. It was some point where he felt like, I can't fuck these guys up right here. And you know, then we started to really figure out that, dang, the Flint, it disappeared, come back, and this, that. People saying shit about Flintstone, but they ain't saying nothing about us because we over in the hood. Flintstone was the person that always traveled outside the hood. He the one brought me out. He told me one time, I was sitting over probably $125,000 before I even seen $300,000-$400,000. He said, if you over in the hood with $10,000, you crazy. That's what he said to me. We sitting up in the bar drinking. I thought about it. I said, I got this in the safe. I got this on me. You know what I'm saying? I got me some money. What's up? So he the first one introduced me to Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew Jackson, but I was a hood baby. Right. Like a lot of hood kids is right now. They don't know no more than out their hood. Yep. So when I be saying it's a culture thing, it's what they learn, what's in front of them. You know what I'm saying? What was in front of me is what I took and what I exempt from, and made my system within the system that was in front of me.
Yeah, man. This part 2 got to come, man. We've been on this thing about an hour and a half. Part 2 gotta come, man. Listen, what
You gotta think about it.
Uh-huh.
For to be charged with 8, 9 murder charges and indict and going to trial for it. Think about it. How would you have felt? Would you thought you were getting out of that?
Hell no.
And that's how I feel. I never thought I already knew I'm done. I'm cooked like a roasted turkey.
You thinking life.
Life is over with. But I got to fight. I can't accept it. I can't sign my name for it. I got to fight for this here. And I fought. And
about how much money, man, you done blow fighting cases?
everything. Old man told me that from day one. He said, son, I'm gonna tell you something. Cause you got the heart. You got the wisdom, you got the knowledge about what you want to do, and you got the courage to do it. But I'm gonna tell you something. And he was not lying. And people need to listen to this. Violence and money don't mix. It ain't never gonna mix. When I was making my money, I was buying all the cars and doing all the stuff I was doing around the neighborhood and everything. Old man pulled up to me and told me, said, you're gonna spend all your money on lawyers. The man will never lie. He didn't never lie. If I want to spend a lawyer for me, I'll spend a lawyer for the guys around me. So when I went to jail, I went to jail for the murder charge, and in that situation, that's what cracked that egg and let you know, okay now.
So, sitting here, how does it feel being that you was a millionaire and you in the position now that you in?
I still feel like I'm a millionaire. Be honest with you, Black.
I mean, you are.
In my heart, I feel like I'm a millionaire.
You are. You see, like I was saying a little while back, God took you through those things, man, for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna take somebody, and I say this all the time. I know some people might get tired of hearing it, but I'm gonna say it again. I've been fucking with Boosie a long time. Boosie done been behind the walls. He done fought, but I do actually believe that Boosie is gonna be a prophet. He's already a prophet. He's gonna be a minister or a savior of the people. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not talking about no pulpit nigga. I ain't talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no mega church nigga. I'm talking about a savior of the people. You the same way. You the same way. I hold that regard to you because I've seen your life. I've seen your life play.
And when you say Boosie's name, right? A lot of people don't know Boosie did a verse down here. He spoke about me. He might don't know he spoke about me. He was in the studio. And when he spoke about it, he probably right now, I can pull the verse up, give it to you, let you rap. You hear him saying, be like the nigga Batman. You know what I'm saying? He go to trial. He said things, but he don't know he talk about me. And see, I tell a lot of people that even though you was doing your thing, I was doing my thing a whole different way. And I got recognized a whole different way.
Oh, he was in tune.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was in tune.
Like Point Blank. When they did the song, it was on the radio and they said fly to Mississippi, fly to Mississippi, holla Batman, Hollywood, some Wood Street, this thing. But it's on the radio. This stuff I can pull up right on YouTube.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, bruh, it's article after article, video after video, news report after news report. How the hell does it feel to be Batman?
Man, I feel like an ordinary person, to be honest with you. I feel like...
But you ain't ordinary, though.
A lot of people tell me that.
You're not the first one to tell me that. You're not ordinary.
But a lot of people tell me that when I go out somewhere.
Listen, man. You a shepherd, man.
Now, I believe that part. Because I will, at the point of something, I see something going wrong, I will step up in that position. Like, hold up, wait a minute. But it got to be a position that I feel, not that I feel, God make me feel. Father God make me feel that this is the position I'm supposed to be in. So I don't mind telling the person when they wrong, right, and looking them in the eye. And that's what a lot of people need. That's what a lot of these kids need. Somebody look at me in the eye and I be afraid of.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of these cats are afraid of. Even the one that tell them what to do is scared of. They don't know that. But whenever they get the courage to know and think about it, they gonna turn on them. That's life. Yeah. When a person think they can eat you up, that's how it go. Especially if you do something you got no business, be fake in their eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you have your first child?
My first child was when I was 19 years old.
Okay. All right. And all your children still with you? Mm-hmm. Any of them ever did in time?
Mm-mm. Well, I got one. His name Albert too. He's in federal prison, but
now
president. He got caught. He ended up taking a police car and breaking in the police house and doing all what he did, and he get out of jail from there. He a convicted felon, get caught with a gun. And when he get caught with a gun, and this is one of the things I was telling him, is that he didn't understand what I was looking at. We as black people, as a culture, as a nation, the reason why we don't get recognized is we don't recognize where we come from. We have to recognize where we come from. If we think about that, when I say this, I'm saying it with strong value. China, you can't go back to a China restaurant right now. Mm-hmm. You're going to have problems. Mm-hmm. Why?
From China.
Because China going to talk about it, that little restaurant. Mm-hmm. And they going to want to know why you mess with this restaurant.
And going to put something on your ass.
Ain't nobody here to talk about us when we get caught up in this. Right? And the 13th Amendment says that we should not work for no involuntary servitude, right? Mm-hmm. Unless what? We convicted of a crime. Mm-hmm. And that's still slavery.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Right. And they show us through the school to prison pipeline. They show us how to walk as a child. Get in line. Same thing in the prison. Get in line. Same thing in the prison.
So the rest of your life is service.
The rest of my life is service, man, because like before we go on the show, end the show, I know we'll come back part 2 because I'm going to come back and we can get deeper then. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say this. I had to sit down with a person, an individual. I'm going to say it. I said, me and Smoke D, we sat down. Mm-hmm. And we talked about it. We talked about what it means to be the black man, the average black man, and what it means to die as the average black man. And how much time do you have as the average black man? Mm-hmm. And the average black man that died right now, give me a number that you can think of right now.
Talking about the age?
Natural, not gunshot, none of that. Natural.
The age?
Age.
You speaking of now times or back then?
Now, right now.
Between 45 and 50.
Right. And a lot of people give us that right there. And gave me that number a lot of times. Somebody gave me 70. Somebody gave me 75. So I took the high, just like you take in federal court. I took the high road. I said, okay, if the natural order of us dying right now as black men, we're gonna die at the age of 75. If we make it older than 75, it's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
But we know that we're gonna die before the age of 75, around that time, right? Mm-hmm. If you know that, and I'm the age of 50, what am I really doing?
You're on your grind.
I'm on my grind now.
Yeah. Because
I understand that I'm pushing for something. Mm-hmm. I'm pushing for time, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get a lot of things in order.
One more time. You pushing
I'm pushing for time.
You pushing for time.
That's why if people see me somewhere and then they don't see me, it's because I understand this ain't my lane no more. This y'all lane.
You got to shift up a little bit.
I got to move this way now. And a lot of people got to know when it's time to move the way you're supposed to move and not try to stick and hold on to what you know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's all right to not know sometimes.
Yeah.
See, I'm in a situation right now that I don't know, but I'm walking in that situation. But I'm understanding as I go because I want to be knowledgeable about what I'm doing.
Right.
Right?
What's the fear? Do you have any fear of your lane now? Do anything scare you? I don't mean that scaring you as something that you physically fear, but going into your next realm of life.
My next realm of life, this is what I fear. I don't fear it. I welcome it, but I won't want it to be too fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My fear of life being disappointed about what I'm trying to put,
That's
what I'm trying to push. You know what I'm saying?
Disappointment is you don't like that too well.
Nah, because like I tell anybody when I was out there in the street and I was at my high level in the game, I ain't hearing no excuses. That's why I was at my high level of the game.
Yeah.
You couldn't come back in the house and tell me an excuse. Because you know why? I go do what you wouldn't do. And then come back and show you that why you got an excuse and I ain't got one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people stuck in those situations that you have to be the example sometimes. And that's what I'm stepping in.
If you built for that, because a lot of folks are not they're not built for that.
Right.
They fake it until they make it. Well, they actually don't make it, but they'll fake it
till they make it.
Till they're trying to fake it till they make it. One more question, man. Well, actually, I got two more questions. Number one is the people that you lost that's close to you, that was in your immediate family.
Right.
I don't mean blood family. I mean yourself.
Yeah.
Does that bother you?
It did, but now it's like I understand their journey. I understand that it was meant. This was God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
And me, who am I to question what God do? You know what I'm saying? So when I look at it in that aspect, I don't try to impede on, you need to tell me why this happened or why that happened. I just accept it and know that, okay, this is the position where he's supposed to be at, this is the position where he's supposed to be in, and my day coming to be in that same position somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I accept it that way, and that just, if you being real, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, ain't nobody ever gonna have a blueprint when they gonna leave.
No, we all got that letter in the mail and don't know when that mailman coming.
And then when you go about leaving, sometimes the best way how you find you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real too.
But how you get to where you supposed to go?
Yeah.
He summoned you.
Yep. That's on you.
It's time for you to come on now.
It's time to come on. You got to answer.
You got to open that letter.
You got to open that letter. It ain't no way around.
Ain't no way around.
All right. Part 2 coming.
Yeah.
But tell people about your podcast, man.
Listen, man, I do a radio show, 90.1, every Wednesday at 9 in the morning, called A Chance in the Choice. We discuss wide views of topics. We talk about, my whole show is built on second chances. So I do voter registration. I do a podcast called Put It on the Table. That come on Wednesdays. It was on Mondays at 5:30 to 6:30, but it's on Wednesdays.
90.1 WMPR.
Right. And the podcast is Put It on the Table. Watch my Facebook page, and you can find me on Facebook, Albert Donelson. Or you can find me on Facebook, A Chance in the Choice. You can find me on Instagram the same way, but on Instagram, one of them is Gang Boss 05, and the other one's A Chance in the Choice. Man, this is a lot of stuff that I've been doing. I was one of the first ones when the water stuff went bad, to pass, get water and take it to everybody. A lot of people want to take credit for it, but I got proof of it. You know what I'm saying? That I was the first one to get out and really do it. Didn't know what I was doing, but being involved in the community, being involved in life, period, you're going to have to do some help.
Oh, yeah.
You have to do a whole lot of help.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
and if you ain't helping,
you hurt.
You
hurt.
Yeah, and you gonna get on up out of here.
Right. So...
I do know that for a fact.
That being said, I learned where I was supposed to be. It took time for me. It took me, bump my head many times to understand where I was supposed to be. And I love God for giving me that chance, or the multiple chances to get where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And where I'm at right now, even though I don't have $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, I'm all right in myself. Mm-hmm. But I still feel like I'm that man now.
Yeah.
So when I walk in,
the check got to come.
That's
man.
right.
The check got to come.
Right.
We just paying dues right now. You understand what I'm saying?
And then the thing is, before I go, is knowing what the people want. A lot of people don't know what the people want. They think they know what the people want. Or they want to tell the people what they want.
Right.
You can't tell a grown person what they want. If you take I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it just like this here. If you take an opportunity from a person, give them an opportunity.
Average Batman Donelson, y'all do for self. I'm Asiatic Black. This is the Too Black, Too Strong Mega Blast / media company. Also King's Corner, man. We're going to holler at y'all on part 2.
Too black, too strong. Oh, you heard the ball pop?
Yeah, I get that off.